Eating red meat does not cause type 2 diabetes, and now results from a large meta-analysis back this up.
That paper was funded by Beef Checkoff. Marion Nessel has me so I can tell from reading a few sentences in the abstract who funded studies like this and why they did it. Marion explained that Beef Checkoff is sponsored by the USDA, and it taxes beef producers and uses the funds to promote beef sales. The 3 authors of this paper work at a small consulting firm. There is a desperate need for consumers and doctors to understand how to spot studies like this because they're so effective for Beef Checkoff and masterpieces of sleight of hand. 1, they don't cost much because all you need is a computer and internet connection, no participants. Anyone can do a meta-analysis. 2, the Beef Checkoff knows that a collection of randomized trials like this sounds like the gold standard to consumers, and it can be for drugs. 3, but they've known for decades that short-term randomized trials don't work for things like smoking and diabetes that take decades to develop. Few consumers know that. 4, they know not to mention words like cholesterol and TMAO, which could scare consumers, so this paper didn't mention them. But here's the thing, I actually read the papers included in this meta-analysis. Who does that? For example, this one was 10 weeks, the longest one they included. As you can see, it doesn't have to do with red meat and diabetes, but general protein and TMAO, a word they never mentioned in Beef Checkoff's meta-analysis. TMAO is considered a risk factor for heart disease. This 10-week study only mentioned the word diabetes in passing in this sentence. High-protein diets are also associated with an increased prevalence of diabetes and impaired kidney function. Protein for the study came from a wide variety of plants, fish, poultry, red meat, dairy, and eggs. And the conclusion was TMAO increased on average in the participants 5-fold when protein went from 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight to 1.6. None of this information was included in the meta-analysis paper. Why the study was included in a meta-analysis of red meat and diabetes, I will never know. Maybe because it was 10 weeks in duration, and that sounded impressive. The Beef Checkoff paper did bury an interesting line at the end. Individuals with metabolic dysfunction and pre-existing risk factors for type 2 diabetes may respond differently to red meat intake, as evidenced by an increase in fasting glucose in the subset with metabolic dysfunction, and this deserves further investigation.